Hello, my lovelies. Today we're going to be talking about Bob Chapek leaving the Disney company last night and being replaced with Bob Iger. This is a huge thing that's going on. We're going to talk about it without any further ado. Grab a snack, grab a drink, and let's jump into it. Roll the intro. Welcome back. Now, if you don't know who these people are, well, Bob Iger used to be the CEO of Disney, and he left to make way for Bob Chapek. Also, ignore my fingers. I literally just re-dyed my hair. So, if you see my hands are blue, that's why. I tried my best to get them off. But anyways, Bob Chapek, or Cheap Peck, to quite a few people, including myself. He was only there for 2 years, but it felt like a million because he was just making decisions that nobody liked, nobody appreciated where the company was heading. So I found an article about this and we're going to read it right now. Disney recently decided to bring back Bob Iger as the company's CEO to replace Bob Chapek, to the surprise of many throughout Hollywood. And a new report has now indicated why the decision was made. Disney fans were shocked to learn that the company made a sudden move from a management perspective, rehiring Bob Iger as the head executive as 2022 comes to a close. Iger previously held the position for 15 years before stepping down from the role in 2020, opening the door for Chapek to take over the job in February of 2020 until November of 2022. Chapek's run as Disney's top executive has been anything but smooth. That's an understatement. It's been anything but smooth. He even heard massive rounds of boos at his last public appearance at the D23 Fan Expo. I watched that whole thing, and hearing him get booed.
Mr. Bob Chapek!
I mean, that just shows that the company, that the fans do not like you, bro. At all. Let's continue. Even considering that the massive global pandemic truly hit the world hard by weeks after his tenure started, some of his decisions have left fans confused, concerned, and even angry at where Disney was going in its future. For real. Now, following the news of the CEO position switching hands so dramatically, a news report shares some of the reasoning for why things happened in this fashion. New information has come to light as to why Disney decided to replace Bob Chapek with Iger as come to light via The Hollywood Reporter. Disney's board of executives has been torn over Chapek staying in his position for the past several months. However, the final decision to force out Chapek was reportedly made within the last week. And the change happening so quickly, the report noted that very few people knew about Iger replacing Chapek, even at the highest levels.
Damn!
Whoa, this was really held under wraps. The decisioning factor for Disney to oust Chapek was his weak performance during the company's most recent quarterly earnings call earlier in November 2022. Chapek touched upon the necessity for cost-saving measures during the call, but only outlined what those plans would be for later that week. Then the CEO proposed plans such as hiring freeze and layoffs. Again, he was planning more layoffs.
Hell to the no, no, no. Come on. Hell no. To the no, no, no. Yeah, to the no.
This man was planning more layoffs? Holy shit. Whew. Matthew Baloney of Puck corroborated on these reports, saying that Chapek's handling of the call and its aftermath was the biggest factor in his removal. Whew. Rather than the company's low earnings themselves. So essentially what they're saying is that during the whole call that he was having with the stockholders and the investors is that he wanted to do a hiring freeze, which meant no hiring other people and laying a bunch of people off. And then when they're like, yeah, well, you want to do this thing, but how do you propose we go about it? and all he had was like an outline. I can see why they did it. Among other things. Chapek's tone-deaf mentioning of Disneyland's Oogie Boogie Bash in the face of a $1.5 billion loss in streaming wasn't what left the board concerned, but it was Chapek's actions after the call, and after the company subsequently suffered a 13% stock drop. Whew, that's a big drop. That contributed to the decision. Disney's HR department was also not informed that Chapek would be announcing layoffs, which also reportedly caused alarm bells to go off internally. So he was planning on laying off a bunch of people and didn't even notify HR about it.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
What? Whoa, okay. Is Disney's future secure with Bob Iger? While Chapek was never the easiest run in Disney, thanks to COVID, hitting less than a month after he took the job, his decisions for the company weren't the best or the most popular ones. This started coming to light after the conflict between him and MCU star Scarlett Johansson over the release of Black Widow. I made a whole video about this on my internet news playlist, so if you want to go check out that video and hear about the whole situation between Disney and Scarlett Johansson over the release of Black Widow, it's in my internet news playlist. Go ahead and pause this video, go watch the video, because they basically just give you a rundown in this article, so if you want to hear the whole situation, go over there and then come back to this one so you're better understanding things. But if you're still here, let's go ahead and go on. Which led Johansson to sue the company over a breach of contract due to the movie being released on Disney Plus alongside its theatrical run. And while that debacle was eventually settled for a huge sum of money, Chapek continued the struggle with his employees, investors, and fans alike over the months that had followed. Chapek also found himself in hot water after Disney suffered backlash from its response to the controversial Don't Say Gay bill that passed in Florida, largely due to Chapek staying silent on the matter, while other Disney executives openly opposed these measures. In the end, it appeared that Chapek's position was in jeopardy for far longer than most fans thought. Even though this decision to replace him seemingly coming out of thin air despite a renewal of his contract. Now, as Iger returns to the job in which he found a great deal of success over the 21st century, all eyes will be on Disney as the company tries to rework its future and find its way back into the fans' good graces. With Iger having more intimate knowledge of the company's workings overall, having worked 15 years with the company, whereas Chapek was only previously more focused on Disney's theme park before assuming the CEO role. Hopefully, the company will be on stronger footing moving forward. I really hope so too, because I would really enjoy if Disney could go back to being a company, or the theme parks at least, going back to what they were supposed to be. When Walt Disney created the theme parks, he wanted a place for families, adults, children, everyone to be able to go, young and old, rich and poor, to go to his parks and experience these magical places for everyone, where it seems like recently all Disney cares about is raising the prices more and more and more, so that way all that can afford going to Disney is the upper crusts, which wasn't the original vision, in my opinion. If you can find something that proves me otherwise, please let me know. I like learning Disney shit. It's been a special interest of mine since I was a child. Okay? I'm kind of invested in this. So, if you want to help a neurodivergent out and correct me if I'm wrong, comments. Let me know. Don't be insultive. Thanks. I really hope that the prices will go down. I really hope that the magic comes back. This surprised me as well as everyone else. This is an insane situation. I know a lot of people didn't like Bob Iger either, but like, he's better than Chapek. Anyone, I think, at this point was better than Chapek. He was only there 2 years and it felt like an eternity, okay? It felt like an eternity that this man was here. For real. So, and I read this online that somebody said that they wanted Michael Eisner to return to control the theme park division and then Iger stay as the CEO. And I would love that, because Michael Eisner was the era of Disney that I grew up with, and the man was so bold, he created that entire alien encounter ride for teenagers, and that was just such a cool and unique thing that Disney ever did. It was one of the scariest rides ever. I actually made a video about that in my Disney stuff playlist, or one of my Disney playlists. So if you want to learn about the madness and basically the iconicness of the extraterrestrial alien encounter, go watch that video, because it is a really, really interesting one, as well as, you can look it up online. There's whole ride-throughs of it. There's other videos about it that go more in depth than I did in my video. So if you want to know more about Alien, the ET, or the extraterrestrial ride, go look it up. It's actually a really interesting, cool little moment in Disney history. So it's where Stitch's Great Escape was, if you don't know anywhere about where that might be, or if you've been to Disney and you don't know where it was at. It was where Stitch's Great Escape was. And I know Stitch's Great Escape closed down. So, all in all, I really think that this is a good thing that Chapek is gone. We're going to have to see what happens with Iger as the days follow, because again, this literally just took effect last night. Chapek is no longer CEO as of today. As I'm filming this today, Bob Chapek is no longer CEO of Walt Disney. It is Bob Iger. And there's some people saying that he's only going to be around for 2 years in order to find a new successor. So we're going to have to just wait and see and find out. If you want me to keep up with more Disney-centric news, let me know in those comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and the subscribe button. And if you watched all the way through, thank you. You are helping me pay my rent. I am poor. I need the little bit of watch time that YouTube gives me, alright? So thank you with all my heart. If you've watched this all the way through, you are a real one. You are a goat. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do. I don't just talk about this stuff. I also talk about books, movies, TV shows, anime, really anything. And actually, it's a variety channel. So it's basically just whatever I want to talk about. And if you look around my playlists, I'm sure you'll find something you like. I've also dabbled a little bit into the paranormal side of the world, so, which is another thing that I'm really, really interested in, and I just find it cool. So if any of that sounds like your thing, maybe look around the channel, maybe hit the subscribe button. I would love you to be a fellow random weirdo. Random weirdo? We're still workshopping the name in the community. I think somebody brought up the name Randonauts, and I actually kind of like that one. So welcome to the Randonaut Nation if you subscribed. I love you all so, so much, and I hope you have the best day. Bye.